How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 4 of the 12th Inning Podcast. My name is Rich. I'm here with my buddy Mitch. And on today's episode, we're going to start off by talking about the Seahawks. We're going to go over our stars of the week. We're also going to just kind of give our overall thoughts on this Seahawks-Saints game. And then we're going to look ahead into the upcoming Thursday night game versus the Cardinals. That's going to be pretty exciting. Then we're also going to take a look at our power rankings like we've done the last couple of weeks. Although it is going to be a little bit different this time, so stay tuned for that. Once we get done with that, we'll move on into our Mariners portion as per usual. We'll go over our star system for the Mariners. We'll take a look at the kind of past week or so of the Mariners as a broad subject. Then we're going to look at our upcoming games versus the Rockies and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And then we'll wrap it all up with going over the playoff picture. So if that all sounds good to you guys, let's hop right into it.
Down the field, good punt. Driving Horton all the way back to his 6-yard line. Horton on the return at the 20, right up the middle to the 30. Now Horton to the outside. Torrey Horton down the sideline. And it's a touchdown. 95 yards.
Yeah, I mean, let's just hop right into our stars. We're going to do it a little differently. I'll explain real quick than we did it last week. Instead of just doing 1, 2, and 3, where they're kind of, like best, medium, worst, our 3 stars will be kind of our 3 highlights of the game or the week, whether we're talking about the Seahawks or the Mariners. And then our no star, will be whatever needs improvement, whatever we think needs to be highlighted, but maybe not for the right reasons. So, which honestly, this week is going to be hard to find a no star, at least for me. So, Mitch, who are your 3 stars of the Seattle Seahawks?
All right, so my 3 star, my top tier, 100%. Normally last 2 weeks it was JSN. Don't get me wrong, he did great in this game. But my 3 star, my top tier for this game has to be Torrey Horton. Also, real quick, I would like to correct myself from last week. I accidentally said that Torrey Horton was an undrafted rookie. He was not. He was drafted in the 5th round, but I do believe he was definitely a steal. I just want to correct myself.
No, definitely agree.
I said undrafted. He was actually drafted in the 5th round.
Torrey Horton just absolutely, it did seem like he had put on a masterclass, along with JSN doing well. I know that some people were pretty disappointed with Cooper Kupp this week. He didn't do bad necessarily, but I think just coming off of the back of last week where it was like, okay, he's getting involved. I think people were expecting him to get involved a little bit more, but sounds like Torrey Horton kind of stole his thunder a little bit along with JSN, which of course JSN is your wide receiver 1, so he's going to get the majority of the touches.
That's my 3 star. 100% has to be Torrey Horton, even though JSN did get more catches. Torrey Horton just balled out in this game. But my 2 star would be the defense as a whole. They did great. They did hold the Saints to 3 points for the longest time, then 6 points going into half, and they held them to 6 points until the 4th quarter when then it was actually all the backups were in.
Yeah, you got to let them have a few pity points.
And so the backups were in against starters, and they still only held them to a touchdown. One touchdown.
Pretty impressive.
And the backups were for the defense, the backups were starting to come in halfway through the 3rd quarter. So Mike McDonald was not real worried about the Saints by the halfway through the 3rd quarter, and the Saints still weren't able to score on them. So, defense as a whole would be my 2 star.
Yeah. To highlight something on the defense that I actually did catch wind about listening to some of the Seattle sports podcasts today. Kendrick. Kendrick. What's his first name? Oh, God. What's his name?
Darian Kendrick.
Didn't we claim him, off of waivers after preseason?
Yeah, we got him from the Rams, I believe.
I think so. And he's balled out since, it sounds like.
Yeah, he's been amazing since we got him.
Yeah. So just something I wanted to highlight on the defense for sure, because he got the lone interception, I believe, of this game. So well done to him, man. I mean, I love seeing defense. I love seeing players who you kind of don't expect to really be able to do much show out, ball out. It's a lot of fun.
So, yes, we did get him from the Rams. He was drafted by the Rams in the 6th round, 212th overall of the 2022 NFL Draft.
Okay. So he's been in the league for a little bit.
And then on June 13th, 2025, he was waived by the Rams, but then was re-signed 4 days later, and then was waived again on August 26th as part of their final roster cuts. And then one day later, on August 27th, the Seahawks claimed him. Torrey Horton's my 3-star, top tier, 2 stars defense overall. Honestly, 1 star would have to be Sam Darnold. He was throwing dots in this game. He was,
and he played a clean game.
100%, and he was dotting the Saints the fuck up. Like, he was finding open receivers. He was throwing on the run. He was getting at. Yeah. I swear, I don't know if you watched the highlight. I'm sure it was a highlight. Mm-hmm. He pulled a fucking Russell Wilson. They had him dead to rights. Like 3 Saints receivers. My God. Saints defenders got in the backfield, and he got out of there like Russell Wilson used to, and it was amazing. Like, he spun out of there. He got out, like, you thought, oh crap, he's getting sacked here. It's that 3rd down's done, and it was a 3rd down too. And you're like, oh, that's it. Okay, this drive's over. And then he just comes out, finds, and then JSN makes it an amazing play, realizes his quarterback's in trouble, was running a curl route, sees Sam Darnold in trouble, decides to fake out the defender and streak down. Instead, Sam Darnold throws a dot once again on the run right to JSN, and JSN gets out of bounds. It was fucking amazing play.
The kind of chemistry you would see from Russ and Doug Baldwin or Russ and Tyler Lockett, it's really, really promising to see that kind of chemistry from these two 3 weeks into the season. Like, yes, they've had off-season and preseason and everything, like all that, yes. But 3 weeks into the regular season, seeing them just on the same page like that is so, so, so exciting. When you have a X-factor receiver, again, a top 3 receiver in this league, like JSN, and then you have a quarterback who is, at his floor is like slightly below average. He's never really going to be at that floor. He's at least average to above average. You put those two together, they raise each other up. And so to see them having this kind of chemistry 3 regular season games in, oh man, they're why we were excited for this team going in. Like, yeah, I know that vibes felt a little weird after the 49ers game. It's like, we kind of expected to come out hotter, but then you stomped the Steelers. You put belt to ass on the Saints, which you needed to. You didn't. If this game had been close and you still came out with the win, it's like, yeah, we got the win, but there's a lot of holes on this team. This kind of win where you put belt to ass on a bad team that you're expected to, like, 3 years ago, the Seahawks would have played down to this team. Like, that's just how it would have been. They likely still would have won, but it would have been like 21-14, and it would have been a heart attack game. You didn't need to worry. When's the last time there was a Seahawks game you didn't need to worry going into halftime or going into the third quarter? The Pete Carroll moniker, you don't win the game in the first quarter, you don't win the game in the second quarter, you don't win the game in the third quarter. Seahawks said, yeah, fuck that, we're winning this shit in the first quarter. When's the last time that kind of thing happened? So, all in all, I know I'm getting off topic because we're talking about Sam Darnold. These last 2 games is showing that he's not as bad as that playoff game in Minnesota. He's not seeing ghosts. I really wish people would stop mentioning the seeing ghosts thing. That shit pisses me off every time. It annoyed me even when he wasn't a Seahawk, because I've always kind of liked Sam Darnold. He's always someone like I've kind of paid attention to. But he is showing everybody that he's a severely underrated quarterback in the league. And even if we were to look at week 1, he made some mistakes. It was week fucking 1. Patrick Mahomes lost in week 1.
And week 2.
It's yeah, thank God. It's really, really, really exciting to see, at least your quarterback for the next couple of years have some really good chemistry with JSN. The only thing I don't like about how well JSN is playing Oh, God, that man is going to need one hell of a contract when his rookie deal is up.
Yeah.
That man is going to be one of the highest paid receivers in the league, and he will deserve every fucking penny, and it better come from the Seahawks front office, because if the Seahawks front office doesn't re-sign this man when that time comes, we riot.
So, yeah, the problem is
100%.
he is definitely a mashup of Doug Baldwin and prime Tyler Lockett, and that's a problem because they both also balled out so hard that the Seahawks had to offer them a huge contract and lose some other players because they were just so much better and so much more worth it than the players they did have to lose because of it, both times with Doug Baldwin and Tyler Lockett.
All right, so what was bad about this game?
Oh boy. So my 0-star, something that I think does still need a little bit of improvement because there just wasn't a horrible spot in this game, would still be the run game.
Walker, 16 attempts, 38 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, but only had 2.3 average yards. That's his longest rush all game was 10 yards. That's not good enough for a team who is, wants to live and die by the run. Him and Wright had the longest runs in this game at 10 yards. That's not good enough, man. Like that honestly, looking at the stat line, that's pretty rough. Again, yes, Kenneth Walker had 2 touchdowns. That's great. But a 2.38 average rush per attempt? That's bad. That's really bad.
I know we're on the 0-star and being the run game, but it wasn't a horrible game. It's so hard to even choose the 0-star to be the run game, because even as bad as that was, because it does need to improve, it still wasn't horrible. But you want to know why it wasn't horrible? Robbie fucking Oots.
Oh my God, I love Robbie Oots.
Put some motherfucking blocks on some dudes in this game. He did it last week against the Steelers, and he did it again this week against the Saints. He is amazing, and I will go into it a little bit further in the next segment we're going to go over when we do the overall. But that's also why the run game it wasn't even horrible in this game, is because of him. Moving on to the overall, since I know you didn't really get to watch this game, I'm going to go over a little bit more like kind of what I did talk about during my 3-star and 2-star and all that, but in a little bit more in depth. So, again, my main point is Torrey Horton for this game. He did amazing, and I already talked about it, but he broke that punt return drought 10 years. 10 years. And it being the last time that it happened was Tyler Lockett, one of my favorite Seahawks players. That's amazing. Like, to break a 10-year drought as a rookie.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
And then not only does he
Not
only does he break the drought from 10 years, he's a rookie, breaks the drought for 10 years, and then also breaks off the longest punt return in Seahawks franchise history. Mind you, everyone, this is the Seahawks' 50th season.
Yeah.
Another point that I have on here is Bell. He's a defensive, and he ended. Seahawks were breaking records like constantly in this game, but he goes and ends the Saints' 222 non-blocked punts. He blocked a punt. Up to that point, the Saints had 220, which is a lot of punts to be honest, but they had 222 punts that had not been blocked, and he goes and ends that streak. The last time the Saints had a punt blocked, I'm going to have you guess. I'll narrow it down for you. It was an NFC West team that did it, but what team do you think blocked the last Saints punt? 222 times ago. Not 222 games, but 222 times.
I want to say the Rams.
You are correct. But...
Dude, what is it with me getting these stats today? Jesus.
Is it the current Rams?
No, it was the St. Louis Rams.
St. Louis Rams. Last time the Saints had a punt blocked was by the Rams when they were in St. Louis. Next point I have, I already kind of went over it. Robbie Oots was just amazing in this game. He was putting people on their backs. He was blocking like crazy. The fact that Kenneth Walker didn't follow him better still kind of annoys me. But you know what? It is what it is. Kenneth Walker's still getting used to the fact that he has a fullback that can actually block for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see. What else I got here? Oh, yeah. Job went off again in this game.
Oh my God, yeah! I can't believe we didn't even mention him when we were talking about. Like,
He just didn't go off
Dude,
enough for me to put him at like a 1-star or anything. He did go off in this game
Sure.
though. Something amazing about him though is he was on this practice squad last year. Halfway through the season, he became their 3rd string, and now he's a starter.
That's man, we love those kinds of stories here.
Another thing we have. Seahawks scored on every possession up to the 4th quarter. Every single possession they had, they scored at least a field goal, if not a touchdown. Also got NFC West going into this game. The NFC West as a whole was the only division to have a team without a losing record. Because remind you, the Seahawks, while they were going in 1-1, that's not a losing record. That is a 500 record. So it's not a losing record.
Yeah.
It's not a winning record, but it's an even record.
Sure.
The NFC West was the only team to not have a losing record. With the Seahawks winning this game, they are still the only division with a team without a losing record. Last point that I had on here, it's just kind of interesting. The Seahawks and Saints have the 2 youngest head coaches.
I mean, I knew the Seahawks did, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Saints have, I believe it's the 2nd youngest head coach, because I believe Mike McDonald is the youngest head coach right now.
So, one thing, because I honestly don't have a lot going into this Cardinals game, just don't get complacent. Don't underestimate this fucking team. Keep Kyler Murray locked down. Job, they're going to be leaning on you really, really heavy. I don't think the Cardinals have that crazy of a run game. You're going to need to lock down Hollywood Brown. I think Hollywood Brown is on the Cardinals. But you're also going to need to make sure you lock down Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, the passing game is going to be crucial. You need to be getting off the field on 3rd down. That is going to be crucial against this Cardinals game. This Cardinals team, they are too good at manufacturing. I want to say manufacturing runs. That's not a football term. That's a baseball term. This Cardinals team is too good at just pushing over that line. You need to make sure that you are getting off the field after 3rd down. Don't give them the opportunity. Don't give them a ton of 3rd down conversions. Yes, that's an easy key to the game for any game. But this Cardinals, do not underestimate them. Play your ass off. This is a division opponent, and this is likely going to be the division opponent that you run into at the end of the year. I'm sorry. I do not believe that the 49ers and the Rams are going to be that consistent for that long. I still believe it's going to be the Seahawks and Cardinals until I am proved otherwise. But, real quick, I wanted to go over, so the Seahawks and Cardinals did not practice today, but looking at the Seahawks side of things, because there wasn't really anything super interesting on the Cardinals side of things for the practice injury report. So I mentioned that they didn't practice today, so this is just a projected participation report. If there was practice today, this is what guys would have been listed as. Elijah Arroyo is on the injury report this week. He would have been limited participant, so he's dealing with some sort of groin injury, not sure if he's going to be ready for Thursday. Zach Charbonnet would have been a full participant at practice today, so he should be hopefully good to go for Thursday. Eamon Worry still limited participation with his ankle issue. Ernest Jones would have been full participation. And the other one I wanted to highlight, you were giving him his flowers, and I'm really sorry to tell you this. Robbie Oots would not have been a participant at practice today with an ankle issue.
Yeah, that is why he didn't come out of the game. I do remember, like, he blocked someone and kind of rolled his ankle in the game. So
yeah, some other highlights: Julian Love, Boye Mafe, Sundell, Williams, and Witherspoon were all would have been limited participants as well. The reason why I'm highlighting this, again, they didn't practice today, but it's just something to keep an eye on. Obviously, by the time this episode comes out, it should likely be around Thursday, whatever. don't be surprised if some of these guys are not going to be playing in this Thursday night game. Kind of unfortunate to see, but especially with Robbie Oots. Good to see Charbonnet. He would have been a full participant, so good to see, especially with Ernest Jones. Glad to see those guys coming back. The only other player I really wanted to highlight as far as the Cardinals is concerned, really the only Cardinals player that I'm aware of aside from like Kyler Murray and some of their wide receivers, James Conner, their running back, he's been pretty solid. He would not have been a participant in practice today, so keep an eye on that as well. So, injury report, not great. Seahawks have been dealing with some, luckily nothing crazy, like we're not the 49ers with Nick Bosa tearing his Achilles. But, we've had some issues here and there. Unfortunately, it's been kind of the name of the game for the Seahawks. So keep an eye on that injury report going into the Thursday night game. Hopefully nothing too serious comes out of that.
Yeah, as far as going into this Cardinals game, kind of have the same thing you did. It was just lock down that run game again, just like you did it with the Saints, because they did lock down the run game. They also locked down the pass game as well. Now,
they just locked down the Saints.
I mean, the run game, he had some decent runs. I mean, he's going to.
I mean, Kamara is just that good that he's usually going to be able to find a way around some things.
Yeah, and is what it is. But still, if they lock down that run game, nothing against Kyler Murray, but he's not a great passer.
No, he's not elite.
The problem is like you said, you've got to contain him, because while he's not a great passer in the pocket, he somehow is amazing once you get him on the run.
He looks like a toddler, but that man can run.
Exactly. Like when he gets out of the pocket, all of a sudden, whether he's running it against you and beating you for 50 yards, it feels like, or, like I said, in the pocket, he sucks. And maybe that's because he's so short he can't see over his own damn lineman. But once he gets out of the pocket, he can see clearly, and he sees his open receivers. All right, so moving on to the power rankings. So how we're gonna do it this week is I'm gonna have Richard guess the top 5 teams, then tell him who the actual top 5 teams are, and then we're gonna go over the bottom 3 teams again. Have Richard guess, and I'll tell him who they actually are. Then we're gonna go over the NFC West as a whole, starting with the Seahawks. Again, we'll have Richard guess where each team is, and then I'll tell him where everybody is. So, if you're ready, Richard, who do you think the top 5 teams are? Again, this is Yahoo Sports Power Rankings by Frank Schwab.
So, I think your top 5, it's going to be Eagles, Bills, Packers, Ravens, Colts.
Okay, so your actual top 5 are Eagles, Bills, Ravens, Packers, Colts.
Yes.
I know I said that in a different order than you did, but you didn't really have an order on there.
Close enough.
Okay, we'll redo it. So you have the Eagles in there. You have the Packers in there. You have the Lions in there, and you have the Bills in there. You got 4 out of 5. How did you get 4?
The Colts aren't in there.
Did you get 4 out of 5?
Well, no, I switched the Bills for the Lions.
I was going to say, you dropped the Lions out. So you got 3 out of 5, with the Eagles, Bills, and Packers being in there. So how it actually goes is we'll start at number 5 and work our way down to number 1. So number 5 is actually the Lions.
Okay.
Then you have the Packers at number 4.
Okay.
The Chargers at number 3.
Oh, okay. All right.
Eagles are number 2, and Bills are number 1. So granted, you did say Eagles, Bills. I know you didn't have that in that exact order, but I assume kind of saying Eagles first, Bills second. You just had those two flipped, actually.
Okay.
So number 1 is Bills, 2 Eagles, 3 Chargers, 4 Packers, and 5 Lions.
So where are the Ravens and the Colts?
Ravens are 7th. They dropped from 4th last week to 7th this week. And then the Colts... The Colts are 11th. They were 11th last week. They were 11th last week, and they are still 11th this week. Bottom 3. Let's see. So number 30 31-32. Remember, there are 32 teams in the NFL.
Damn it. That's easy. It's going to be Panthers, Browns, although the Browns might move up since they beat the Packers. Panthers, Browns, and Saints.
Are you saying it in that order, or like
Yes.
Panthers 30?
Or actually, no. Browns, Panthers, Saints.
Browns 32nd, or Browns 30th?
Browns 30th.
And then Panthers 31st, and then the Saints at last?
Yes.
Okay, so you only got one of those teams, right? And that would be the Saints.
Wow. That's fucked up.
Okay, so who'd you say, the Browns and Panthers?
Yeah.
Were the other ones? Okay, so Panthers are 25th. They moved up from 29th. The Browns are 27th. They jumped up from 30th from last week. All right, and then the bottom three teams are actually at 30th, Tennessee Titans. 31st are the Dolphins. And 32nd, you were right with it being the Saints.
Damn.
All right.
I really should have thought of that.
Now, final part of the power rankings, NFC West as a whole. Go ahead and guess where you think the Seahawks, Cardinals, Rams, and 49ers are.
Okay. I think the Rams are going to be number 10. The 49ers, I'll say, are 14. The Seahawks, we'll say, are 15. And the Cardinals, 17. I think they're all going to kind of be middle of the road.
Okay, so just to go over it real quick, you say the Rams are 10th. 49ers are, where'd you say they were? 14th?
14th. 13th, 14th.
Okay, and the Seahawks are 15th, and Cardinals are 17th.
Yeah, I think they're all middle of the road.
Okay, so starting with the Seahawks. The Seahawks are 14th, actually.
Oh, cool.
So you were very close. You said 15th. They're 14th. They jumped up from 19th last week.
Deserved.
And then the Rams, or actually we'll go with then the Cardinals. So then the Cardinals are 18th. They dropped down from 14th last week. You said they were 17th. So again, you were very close. But yeah, they dropped down to 18th from 14th last week. Then you had the 49ers at 14th. That one you were not too close on. They're actually 9th.
Oh, wow, okay. I thought they were going to... I mean, I figured they'd be kind of high, but I thought they were going to drop since Bosa got dropped.
Hey, you literally put, if there's anything that can derail the 49ers, it's going to be Nick Bosa's torn ACL.
Damn, okay. Fair enough.
But they're at 9th, and then the Rams were the ones you were probably... Actually, no, the 49ers were the ones you were the least right on, essentially. The Rams, unfortunately, are 6th. They jumped up from 7th, so they actually went up a spot even with a loss.
That's crazy. Then again, that loss was to the Eagles, and they did keep it very close, to be fair.
Sir?
They played the Eagles this week.
Yeah, I know they played the Eagles. The fact that
It was close for the most part.
The fact that they jumped up is ridiculous, though, because they lost a 26-7 lead.
I thought it was closer than that.
It was closer at the end when the Eagles got that final touchdown. They were losing 26-27 when they blocked that, or when the Eagles blocked the field goal. The Rams were losing 26-27.
Yikes!
But they lost a 26-7 lead to get to that point.
And they went up.
And they went up a spot.
Okay.
Anyway, but that is where the NFC
Sure.
West is. And then finish out the power rankings, just what Frank Schwab said about the Seattle Seahawks. He said, the Seahawks might be good. They weren't good in the opener and blew a game to the 49ers, but have looked like a buzzsaw since then. Beating the 2025 Saints isn't a grand accomplishment, but this might be a very good team everyone is sleeping on early in the season.
Thank you.
Exactly
Thank you,
what
Mr.
we've
Schwab.
been saying.
Literally. Finally. All right.
but-
We'll have to see if they back that up. Honestly, though.
But anyway,
I'm not sure.
that is that is it for the Seahawks portion.
Yeah, so let's move on to your Seattle Mariners.
One pitch away. Ball game! You can forget about next year. The Mariners are going to the playoffs.
The Mariners are hot. They are hot. I think they're 14 wins of their last 15 games. They have jumped the Astros for the AL West. In fact, they swept the Astros in Houston. Okay, they're now 3 games up on the AL West. I'll real quick go over my stars. Okay, 3-star of this last week in Mariners, I have to give it to Cal Raleigh. He's broken the record for single season home runs in Mariners history. All right. He's continued to add on to that as well. He's been productive. He's starting to warm up again at the right time, and he should be MVP over Aaron Judge. I'm also going to give my 2 stars to the pitching. Starting pitching and bullpen, I'm going to lump them together for this one because they have been incredible. As far as the Astros series is concerned, they barely allowed any runs. Carlos Vargas did allow a grand slam. There were a few one-off home runs here and there. But for the most part, they kept the Astros out of it. This series did not look competitive in the slightest. And a lot of that, not just due to the offense, pulling things together, but a lot of that was due to the pitching. As far as my 1 star, I'm going to give it to Victor Robles because it's not like he was worse than anybody, even putting him in the good, whatever. That catch.
Fly ball, gap, right center field, and
Double him up at second.
Victor Robles makes the catch,
Yes.
and that is the ball game.
If you've watched any MLB highlights over the last few days, you know the catch I'm talking about. He wasn't even in frame. Jumps in frame to make that catch. Nobody knew he was coming. Julio barely knew he was coming, and luckily was able to slide so that way Victor Robles wouldn't, collide with him and end the Mariners' seasons by giving them both injuries. That catch was incredible, and frankly, that catch may very well be what we look back on in a similar fashion to the Cal Raleigh postseason clinching home run. As far as my 0 star, I'm going to give it to Randy Arozarena. He was able to break out of his slump during Game 3 of the Astros series. He was 0 for 27, I want to say, up to that point. So he was slumping really, really hard. He did manage to get a single to break out of that. But I need to see a little bit more production from him. Now, granted, when he gets the hottest is when he reaches the postseason. He's made the World Series with the Tampa Bay Rays, and he is known as the postseason merchant. So I trust that he will be able to, but if I have to give a 0 star for this amazing stretch of Mariners baseball, it's going to have to be Randy Arozarena. But, again, he did break that 0 for 27 streak, so fingers crossed that he's going to be able to bring his way up. So those are my stars. Mitch, do you have any thoughts?
So full transparency, I didn't really get to watch these games too much. I've paid attention to scores and everything. I've seen highlights, kind of like you did with the Seahawks game. Honestly, my 3-star would also be Cal Raleigh. 2-star, I would actually give the 2-star to Robles.
Fair.
Making that catch. That was an amazing catch. Just crazy.
Yeah.
And my 1-star would I'm kind of switching your 2 and 1-star. My 1-star would be the pitching overall.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really have a 0-star. I couldn't really think of much. I hadn't really seen much. I didn't know about Arozarena, so
yeah.
I'm just going to kind of agree with you on the 0-star at this point because I didn't really have one.
Just kind of my overall feelings over this last week. It's incredible. I just want to take a second to talk about the fact that this Mariners team is going to make the playoffs, and they're going to earn it. It's not going to feel like, we barely scraped by, we barely made it to the finish line. They're earning this playoff position. They are winning this division as it stands right now, and so much has to go wrong for them to lose this division. That's the position they have put themselves in. This team is incredible. This team is playing like an elite team. They've fixed, it seems like, their road woes. Because they also won on the road against the Royals. I know we're not talking much about that series, but frankly, it was pretty inconsequential. They have seemingly fixed their road woes, which is going to be very important for the playoffs, of course. But you went into Houston, a place that there are so many demons lurking about as far as the Mariners are concerned. That is where a lot of their hope has ended, in Houston, at the feet of the Astros. Not only did you push them down the standings, you put your foot to their throats. You put belt to ass. You told them, hey, we're done with your Astros reign. This is our year. Is this going to be long-lasting? God, I hope so. Please re-sign Naylor. This team is exciting. This team is a genuine World Series threat. World Series threat. I'm not just talking division. You went into Houston. You snatched their fucking souls. And now it's time to move on. And now it's time to keep going. Go forward. Seize the moment, like Ichiro said. Anything else to add to that before I move on to the next couple series coming up?
Nah, I mean, overall, it's been a great week. Like, it's been a great week. We won the series against the Royals. We swept the Astros.
Looking ahead real quick to the last two series of the season, it's against the Colorado Rockies, it's against the Dodgers. The Los Angeles Dodgers, by the way. Apparently I called them the Detroit Dodgers last episode. My bad. There is a very real world where the Mariners continue their win streak. There's a very real world where the Mariners continue their win streak into the playoffs. You can absolutely 100% sweep the Colorado Rockies. I'm not saying you're going to. They swept the Dodgers earlier this year. But you can absolutely 100% sweep the Rockies, especially going home with the momentum that you're going home with. As far as the Dodgers are concerned, yes, they're a dangerous team, but who knows? By the time we're playing them, they might be resting their starters. So this Colorado Rockies series is important to keep that momentum. And hopefully, basically you need any combination of four Mariners win, or a combination of Mariners wins and Tigers losses that add up to 4. So 2 Mariners wins, 2 Tiger losses. You lock up the second seed before the season is even over. So I real quick want to take a look at Fangraphs odds for the playoffs. The Mariners have the highest odds in the MLB to win the World fucking Series. The Mariners' odds to win the World Series on Fangraphs is 19.1. The next highest odds to win the World Series are, would you look at that, the Los Angeles fucking Dodgers.
Hey guys, Mitch here. Just wanted to let you know, unfortunately Richard's audio and video did cut right after he talks about how the Mariners have a better chance at winning the World Series than the Dodgers do. So that was pretty much all we had here at the 12th Inning Podcast. So go Mariners, Tridents up, and go Hawks.